So, I wanted to talk a little bit about what eclipses are. So, we are currently under a solar eclipse. I think it was actually just exact like an hour ago. Let me check the chart. Yeah, like an hour and a half ago, it was exact. Eclipses are usually quite potent, as Rue was saying here too. It's like he's been feeling it since Friday. I feel like eclipses can feel sometimes there's things that happen immediately, and sometimes it's like it takes a little while for it to unfold so that we can see the picture of like what the eclipse is actually doing for us. Um but astrologically, an eclipse is basically when the moon intersects with the nodes of the moon. So, like, where the m let me try to get the picture in my mind. So, like, where the moon crosses the ecliptic, and that's what makes an eclipse. So, astrologically, it's when the moon like a lunar event, the new moon or the full moon is happening really close to the nodes of the moon. So right now, the nodes of the moon are currently still in Pisces and Virgo, but this new moon is happening in Aquarius, so that's what makes it a solar eclipse in Aquarius. The nodes of the moon are about to shift into Leo in Aquarius. So this is the first eclipse that's kind of ushering in this new collective kind of evolution that we're going through. So the nodes of the moon kind of dictate what we're evolving through. So the south node being kind of what we've become really good at. And I feel like when it's transiting through the sky, the nodes of the moon, like the south node is kind of what we're releasing, but then the north node is what we're moving towards collectively. But it feels to me more like a balance. I know some astrologers will say, like, we're kind of moving past the south node and moving towards the north node. But I feel like, especially when we're working with oppositions, it's so much more about finding the balance between the 2 rather than eradicating one and leaning towards another. So for the past little while, we've been kind of balancing the Virgo and the Pisces axis, and this is also coming back to that earth and water energy. So now we're kind of moving into the fire and air, and we're kind of getting a taste of that with the Aquarius new moon solar eclipse today. So this is kind of that beginning point and showing us what's coming as the nodes of the moon move into Aquarius and Leo. So it feels potent. Eclipses can accelerate change. So if you've been feeling a little bit it's funny because when eclipses come around, this is why I don't do the new moon workshops under eclipses. So I thought I would do this instead and kind of just talk about the eclipse, less about doing things and more about noticing what's going on, because oftentimes eclipses can kind of just sweep in and change the channel. And then it's like, whoa, what just happened? So oftentimes we look back after eclipse season and it's like, my life is just totally different now, or something has shifted and I cannot go back to the way things were. So I don't know if you guys are feeling that too, where it's like things are shifting and I, it's like you just can't unsee what you're seeing. It's like I can't go back to the way things were. There's something that needs to happen. One of my teachers, Rebecca Gordon, I think she used to describe it as like if you're like changing the channel and then like when an eclipse happens, it just eclipses and then like you can't go back to the channel that you were on before. It's just like it doesn't exist anymore. There's no going back. It's just things are different. Yeah, honestly, 100%. Yes, completely. Okay. So I'm not alone. It just feels like, especially with, let me just look at my notes. I forgot what I was even going to talk about today. I wanna make sure that I'm, like, covering everything. So how to work with it, what it is. We talked about what it is, how to work with it, and what it means. So let's kind of talk about the sign that it's in, the astrology of it. So this particular solar eclipse is in Aquarius, so 28 degrees of Aquarius. Also kind of feels like I don't even wanna go back to the old channel. That honestly, it's like I've been seeing that a lot in the collective as well. I love noticing the patterns of, like, what's coming up, even just on Substack alone, just looking at notes that are popping up, and I don't know if it's the algorithm that I'm on or if it's everywhere, but it's almost like people are just kind of sick of the fake shit. I think I posted a note the other day where I'm like, I get physically ill when I see something that was written by AI. And I know there's like, I don't know. That's a whole thing that I'm not going to get into. But it's like the realness. People want real. People are kind of like sick of their own shit also, myself included. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Um, you've been seeing those too. Okay. Yeah, so sick of it. Perspective shift, new paradigm. That's what it feels like. So with this solar eclipse in Aquarius, I've been thinking about this a little bit where it's a lot of like it feels like the old structure doesn't feel like it. The systems are fucking shit. They're not working for us anymore. Many of the systems are broken. The way that we've done things forever, for as long as I've been alive and beyond, just like aren't working anymore. And I feel like this is kind of that precipice of like, okay, now what are we going to do about it? Especially with Saturn, which is the traditional ruler of this solar eclipse. So Aquarius is traditionally ruled by Saturn, modernly ruled by Uranus. So I tend to like look at both of them. But with Saturn just moved into Aries, Neptune has just moved into Aries, and they're coming into that conjunction. That's like, I feel like so many astrologers are really excited about. Coming up in a couple of days, but they're both at 0 degrees now. It just feels like this eclipse is kind of the initiation of what's to come. Aquarius is very much concerned with the people, concerned with the community as a whole. It's innovative, it's forward like it can really see into the future. If you have people with Aquarius placements in your life, you might be like, what? What are you even talking about? Like when they're talking, because they just see things that a lot of people can't really see. They can see how things could maybe work better. So I feel like this is part of that where, yeah, humanitarian, exactly. I feel like this is part of that initiation where it's like, okay, like power to the people kind of thing. And it's also squaring Uranus, which is the modern ruler of Aquarius, and it's like a pretty close, tight square. So there could be things that are coming up that are quite unexpected. It's that energy of just breaking free. Aquarius is also very concerned with like freedom as well. So if you're feeling like tired of the way that you've been doing things, if you're feeling as though, like, you've just been going through the motions and you're like, "Why am I on this hamster wheel? I don't even wanna be here." It feels like this solar eclipse is kind of that initiation into seeing how things could be happening in a new way, where it's like, "Okay, maybe I don't need to do things the way that I've always done them. I've done that, and I know that it works in some ways, but now it's like I think of the transition from Capricorn to Aquarius kind of as like Capricorn, we learned how to follow the rules. Aquarius, it's like that quote, who said that quote? Where it's like you learn the rules first in order to then know how to break them. If anyone knows who said that, I'm totally blanking, but that's what the move from Capricorn to Aquarius feels like, where it's like, "Okay, we learned the rules, we know how to follow the rules. Now how can we kind of, like, break them in a way that feels as though it's serving us and the people around us as well. Hi. It's nice to see you guys. I'm so happy you guys are here. Morpheus from the Matrix. Yeah, maybe. I feel like it was actually like a person in history. I don't know who it was, but I feel like it could be Morpheus from the Matrix. That's hilarious. So Aquarius is also honoring our uniqueness as well, and I feel like this is part of this move from, like, that earth, water, internal energy. It's like we've really learned Pablo Picasso, thank you, Amy. Yes, that was Picasso. Yeah, learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's what it feels like, that move from Capricorn to Aquarius. It's like, okay, we've followed the rules, now we get to be creative because there really is this uniqueness within all of us, and I fully believe that, like, honoring our uniqueness is what's going to save the world. That might be a dramatic statement, but I honestly, in my bones, feel that it's true. And I think that's why I love doing this work so much because, like, showing people who they are and, like, their gifts and, like, having that confidence to really shine as you are and to be who you are and to honor your gifts and to share those gifts with the people around you, with your community. Like, there's a reason why you have the desires that you have inside. And I feel like that time where we were kind of in that water and the earth and the really, like, fertilized time where we were kind of going inward, reflecting, slowing down, we get to learn about ourselves. And now that we're moving into this fire and air, it's like, okay, now what are you gonna do about it? You know yourself so deeply. I feel like there was also this, especially with Saturn and Pisces, Neptune and Pisces as well, there was this big boom of, like, the big healing boom and, like, the spirituality boom where, like, people kind of got I know it was, like it served a purpose, but I think a lot of people kind of got stuck in that, and it was like, okay, this perpetual healing cycle where it's like, I'm just not enough, or, like, I need to heal more, or I need to, like, do more whatever it is, like, plant medicine or meditating or, like, even astrology and things like that. There was, like, this never-ending cycle of healing, and now it's like, "Okay, maybe I am enough. Maybe I am enough. Maybe I can just start to take that action." And I think especially with Saturn and Neptune now in Aries, there's this call towards taking action and also really tending to the fire. So, Saturn and Aries, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy to access the fire. I feel like a lot of people are feeling that ignition from within, but something important to remember with Saturn and Aries is Saturn is often restrictive and Aries just wants to go, like, pedal to the metal, balls to the wall. So there's this, like, gas brake action, and I think throughout these next couple of years of Saturn and Aries, it's going to be like, "Okay, how can I sustainably tend to this fire so that it doesn't just, like, combust and then it's gone, or it doesn't get snuffed out completely?" So there's this, like, balance of how can I continuously tend to this fire so that I can bring my dreams to reality? So with the solar eclipse, there could be insights coming through where you're just like, okay, maybe you can see that vision also, like going back to the Aquarius nature of being really able to see the future and to be able to see the vision and to see how the structure, Saturn, the traditional ruler, to see how that structure can really fall into place. And it there could be, like, changes happening where it's like, "Okay, I just need to break free. I just can't do things the way that I've been doing them." any longer. There has to be another way. So if there's anything that's no longer current or anything that's kind of like falling away also, oftentimes under eclipses, even new moon, solar eclipses, things can feel like they're shedding. Um, and that's happening in order to create space to move forward. It's like feeding the flame without reaching burnout. Exactly. Because Aries can be like, okay, I'm going to go whether you're coming with me or not. And Saturn's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, let's think about this first. Let's maybe make a plan. Let's like make sure that um, it's sustainable. It's like, it's great that you have all these ideas, but we need to make sure that it's reasonable. We need to make sure that it's sustainable to like kind of creating that structure. It's almost like your Saturn's creating the fire pit, and then Aries is like that ember inside, and then it's like contained. It's like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I'm taking action. It's aligned action, and it doesn't have to be all at once. It's like like really thinking about the fact that we're coming out of this very like soft and slow era where it's like, okay, w- I see a lot about like this, the nervous system regulation too. It's like, how can I create that capacity to be able to move forward? How can I release the fear that maybe has been holding me back, or like having conversations with that part of myself that doesn't feel like I'm worthy or doesn't feel like I'm good enough. There's going to be some navigating of how can I feel safe to ignite this fire. Yes, I feel like I'm shedding another part of my identity and waiting for something new to take hold. Exactly. Yeah. Ebb and flow. Yeah, so, like, it might not necessarily be a time to take action right away, but I think this solar eclipse is kind of illuminating what that action might look like. It's like, "Okay, I know this isn't working anymore. What's holding me back from moving towards what would work?" And it's like we don't have to have all of the answers. We don't have to have everything mapped out. It's like, how can I just create those safety moments in order to like take one step, look around again, take another step, look around again. It's like, as long as we're just taking the steps, because this solar eclipse is also conjunct Mars. Let me just pull up the chart again. So we have the new moon conjunct Mars in Aquarius too. So we may also be thinking of ways to take action that are a little bit unique, or a little bit like, we're just going to try things a different way. And oops. And it might take a little while to get comfortable in the new skin. Kind of going back to what Amy's saying too. It's like shedding another part of your identity, waiting for something new to to take hold. So there's this like feeling of like the in between. It's like we're letting go of these parts of ourselves, but we don't quite know what's on the other side. So it can feel a little bit uncomfortable, or it can feel a little bit like, oh, this is new territory. I don't know if the ground is going to hold me, but I think we do know that the ground is going to hold us because of all of the work that we've been doing over the past few years. I wonder how you guys feel about the past few years, even like, I don't know, it feels like since 2020 up until now, there's kind of been this strange yeah, the liminal space, exactly. It's like certain endings and hopeful beginnings. I like that. It does feel very much like we have been in this liminal space, and we still are in this liminal space, it feels, yeah, like there's just something new on the other side. And not only Mars conjunct, we also have Venus sitting right next to the North Node, which I thought was interesting. So it's kind of like our desires. I think of Venus kind of as our desires, what we love. Venus is the planet of love. It's money, it's our desires, it's relationships, what we're attracted to. So when it's sitting next to the North Node like this, it says to me that our desires are kind of that North Star. It's like that's the compass. It's like you wouldn't have the desires within you if they weren't meant to live through you. So it's almost like our desires and our fate are coming together. Yeah, it's been a challenging few years. My husband died in 2021, and I've been recalibrating ever since. Yeah, I can't even imagine. Yeah, the recalibration. I would imagine just like that version of you. Like, I would imagine a version of you also died in 2021. Yeah. Oh, happy birthday to your son. Yeah, happy and sad. I like that you said that too. It's like those 2 feelings can live at the same time. It kind of feels like that's the transition too, where it's just like there's a capacity being built. There's a grieving that is happening too. I feel like there's a a collective grief and probably an individual grief in our lives too, depending on what you're going through, because the way that this shows up is going to be different for everyone. Yeah, proud of him and sad that his dad isn't here to celebrate with us. Yeah. Are you doing anything special to celebrate? And I wonder too if anyone, I'm curious if you know where this is happening in your chart. So wherever 20 degrees of Aquarius is in your chart, because it's going to, this eclipse is going to affect us all differently. And oftentimes we can see that in the chart. Oh, that's so nice to be at a school break on your birthday. Sounds lovely. Yeah. A lot of collective release happening, loss and grief. Yeah. I feel that too. It's almost like parts are shedding. I know there's a lot of talk about the year of the snake and the now moving into the year of the horse, the fire horse. I feel like there has been a lot of shedding and also thinking about astrologically too, like Western astrology, thinking about the move from Pisces to Aries. It feels very similar. Where Pisces is like this shedding, it's this surrender, release, and then now moving into the all of this stuff moving into Aries. 12th house exactly conjunct Saturn. Woo. Oh my goodness. You guys got hit by the by Saturn and Pisces too, having you both of you. I think I read that. Oh, how are you feeling? 12th house conjunct your Saturn. Hmm. You got it. Oh, are you feeling some relief now? How are you feeling? Gosh, congratulations too. Tired. Saturn does that. It's so interesting. Oh, I bet you learned so much though. I feel like my Saturn return, anytime Saturn hits anything, it's like you learn the lessons. You are learning. And I feel like there is this sense of, yeah, like we just got hit. Saturn has been conjunct your ascendant for a while. Oh, yeah, that feeling of freedom. Whew. Delusional after leaving her Saturn return. Yeah, especially in Pisces. Saturn the teacher, relieved. Yeah. I wonder if there is this feeling of, I guess you said it, there's just levity. It's like it's just I feel lighter, little slightly delusional. I think that can be a good thing though, depending on which way it goes, especially under like the current astrology as well. It's like I think we need a little delusion or a little bit of also like I'm just so sick of my shit. It's like I just don't want to do this anymore. So what am I going to do about it? Yeah. So I feel like this solar eclipse, and then also we're going to have the lunar eclipse in a couple weeks too. So eclipses come in pairs. Broke on through to the other side. Yeah. So we're kind of in this eclipse portal and just kind of thinking about how maybe where you are sick of your shit. Yeah, anything feels joyfully delusional. Yeah, it does make sense. It's like anything's possible. Today I was just driving and I was like, everything just felt a lot more colorful. I don't know if that makes sense, but I was just like, wow, the possibilities. Like, there's just so much possibility. I feel like we're just in this, just feels very strange to be alive right now. I don't know if anyone else feels like that. But it's like, sometimes I just look around and I'm like, "What a wild time to be alive." Like, there's so much shit happening in the world. There's so much sadness, there's so much violence, there's also so much beauty, there's so much joy. There's, like, so many things similar to what Amy was saying, just, like, the sadness and the happiness at once. It's like there's it feels bizarre. It's like I don't know, it just makes me feel like there's so much possibility, and I wonder if that's also kind of the energy of this eclipse where Aquarius, it just feels like anything is possible. It's like, "Okay, how can I honor my uniqueness? How can I see it?" I wonder I'm curious if you guys would be willing to play with me a little bit, but, like, if you feel okay with it, like, putting in the chat, what makes you unique? Like, what do you love about yourself that makes you you? I would be so curious to hear. I feel like kind of starting there and just thinking about, like, what makes me me? What makes me unique? How can I kind of step into those parts of myself that make me me and, like, really show that to the world? I'm a very open-minded person. Yeah, I love that. God, and that's so necessary right now. It's like That's a gift. Recognizing patterns and synchronicities. Yeah. God, and to be able to notice a synchronicity when it happens. I love that. Yeah. So thinking about what makes you unique and how you can kind of lean into that. How does it feel to lean into those parts of yourself? You may also be feeling like where you're feeling called to stretch yourself a little bit. I think for me, it's owning the cringe level of excitement I have about things that others might find irrelevant. Oh my gosh, my words. I love that. Oh, I've been watching Bridgerton. I don't want to give anything away in case anyone else hasn't been watching it or is like trying to catch up on it. But I'm just thinking about one character in the new season. Just, like, the joy of, like, noticing things and, like, the pure excitement. God, that's such I just love being around people that have this excitement because it makes me excited. Definitely learning to appreciate my authentic self more lately. I love that. To own all the energies running through me, being able to calm in chaos, kinda like a superpower. Yeah, calm in chaos. That's such a gift. I value critical thinking, especially when I feel triggered by other people. Mm, I know it's about me and not about them. What lesson do I have to learn? I love that, and being able to reflect when that happens. Yeah. I know it's about me and not about them. I feel like that's so important now also. It's just I feel like there's a lot of noise out there, and a lot of people tend to take things personally, myself included sometimes. It's like, sometimes I take things personally. Then it's like, "Oh, that's about me, not about them." Yeah. God, I love all these. Thank you guys for sharing. And then feeling like I wonder if you also feel where you're kind of being pulled towards? I wonder if that's the right word. I wonder if it feels like a pull or a push. Maybe you're, like, standing on the ledge and it feels like something's pushing you. It's like, "Okay, it's time to fly." Or maybe it's, like, something that's pulling, or it's like, "I just feel magnetized towards this." Especially thinking of Venus on the North Node, it may feel more like a pull. It's like I'm feeling called to move towards something. I wonder if you're feeling any of that. It might be something that comes up during this eclipse season. And then thinking about this upcoming Neptune Saturn conjunction as well. It's like, okay, where am I feeling called towards? And then how am I going to put that into action and take the steps? Because it's up to me. It's up to me to take the steps. It's up to me to put the structure into place. It's up to me to figure out like what I'm going to do with it. Feels like a surprising realization. Yeah. That feels very accurate with the way that the chart looks too, because Aquarius and it's also squaring Uranus, it feels very surprising. It's like, "Oh, that that's what that is? Or like, oh, nice of this awareness to show up. So there might be some like unexpected change. I'll also speak to that too because it could also show up as anxiety. Like Aquarius, it's very electric energy, and especially with Uranus there as well, it can show up as anxiety. So if you're noticing yourself feel a little bit anxious, it's like, oh, there's something happening where it's like, I just feel uncomfortable. I feel uncertain. I feel anxious. Like that's also something that might be happening. And also good information. It's like, where is this anxiety coming from? Where am I maybe feeling like I need to mute myself or restrain myself? Or like, where am I not fully being myself? And like, what's kind of contributing to the fact that I feel like I can't be myself. I realized I never heard where the eclipse is happening for you. It's happening in my ninth house. Ninth house, which feels it's interesting. I've been I feel like I've talked about this on Substack before, so it might not come as a surprise, but I don't say it out loud a lot. And it is a little bit uncomfortable, but I've been feeling a little bit like I'm not sure if I'm going to be staying in Thailand for much longer. It feels like there's something happening around that area of my chart, just like the international travel. I've also started going back to school and I'm questioning that as well. So a lot of these ninth house topics that I'm questioning. So yeah, it feels very charged in that area of my chart. So it could feel like that for you if you look to where this eclipse is happening in your chart. It could feel charged. It can feel like there's a lot of energy behind it. It almost can feel like pressure too, because it's like, okay, all of a sudden there's all this fire and this air after a period of like water and earth where things moved a little bit more slowly. And now it's like there's so much energy. I'm feeling moved to write about our collective failure to protect children. It's a societal issue, but our actions don't match our outrage. Yeah. Something that's been coming up in client sessions too with readings and things that I'm doing with clients is that we're noticing like a lot of my clients are noticing that they can't access the outrage or the anger. It's like that just isn't activated, which is interesting. I feel like that's something that is also coming up with the move of Neptune and Saturn into Aries. I've been thinking also about like the internal protector and like if how can we like really activate our own internal protector? How can I advocate for myself? How can I advocate like stand up for myself? Or how can I get angry? Especially for a lot of women, that anger can be hard to access. So I find that there's this like moving towards this feeling of like, how can I access my anger? How can I feel safe to rage? I love that you're feeling that, Amy. We need a lot more healthy anger and advocacy. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that, especially with this move into Aries. A joyful confrontation to self limiting beliefs. Yeah. Having a conversation with those self limiting beliefs. It's like, how can we, like, let's just sit down and have a chat. Let's have a chat. Why do I believe this? Is this something I even still believe? That's so interesting, though. Do you think that might be nerves because it's new or it's not quite clear yet where you're wanting to end up? I think that's the one. I'm not sure where I want to end up. Also thinking about I've been here for this year will be 9 years. And I feel like it's just shaped a lot of me. This place has really shaped me. And it's a much different culture than what I've grown up in. And I've been considering going back. And it feels a little bit scary to go back, especially knowing that the place that I left 9 years ago, 10 years ago, I guess I left. The place that I left 10 years ago doesn't exist anymore. I'm different. I don't know how I'll fit into that. Yeah, it's a lot of interesting navigation. Marta's is happening in her 5th. Yeah, 5th house. The house of creativity, joy, romance. Pretty good with accessing your anger. Yeah, it is a strong motivator to take action. It's a shit show in the US. I can't even imagine what it feels like to be there right now. It feels bizarre watching it. I'm so glad that you can access your anger. I feel like that's something that, um, yeah, we need more of. And I feel like we need more healthy examples of healthy anger. This Saturn, Neptune, and Aries, I've been thinking a lot about the masculine as well. I feel like there's going to be this healing of the masculine. And I feel like from what we learned while Neptune was in Pisces, we've kind of learned how to access compassion. We've learned how to surrender, and we've learned how to like, hopefully, I don't know, that we're all kind of in it together. And I feel like as now Neptune's moving into Aries, there's this need to kind of like hold space for the masculine, the healthy masculine to really bloom, and that healthy masculine within us too. And part of that is being able to advocate and to get angry and to protect. Maybe you won't fit back into it as what you once did. Yeah, I feel that too. I'm also a little scared that it'll feel dull. I don't know. Life just feels very alive here. It'll be interesting to see what happens. A righteous anger against oppression. Yeah. Yeah. It's necessary. We need it. I feel like this next cycle is a lot of, yeah, how can we stand up? It's like we have more power than we think. Be sure the eclipse is in my 9th house. Saturn and Neptune in the 11th. Yeah, that makes sense. Here for all the masculine healing, trying to figure out and what I believe in relationship to that, spirituality and all the things. I love that. And the 9th house is also, this is where my mind went when I read that. Take it, I don't know if it's going to resonate, but the 9th house is also the house of teaching. And I wonder, the 11th house is like community. I wonder if you're kind of stepping into this role of whether it's leading by example also, or like teaching others. It's funny, I don't know. Some of you guys might know this, but I have my truth geckos. I call them my truth geckos. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. But there's these little geckos here in Thailand, the house geckos. And sometimes when I'm having conversations with people or if someone says something and then they chirp, they kind of, like, make this sound, we know it's true, and that just happened. Speaking of synchronicities, I know, Rue, you mentioned those. Yeah, I feel like is there anything else? I think hope so. First coaching session today, that's so exciting! Turned down a chance to speak at a thing that would have aligned for me years ago, but doesn't anymore. Gosh, I love that. And just, like, the ability to say no to something. It's like, "Okay, I could have done this thing, but it doesn't align anymore." That's also something with this Aries energy, it's like learning how to say no. I love that so much. Congrats on your first coaching session. I'm so excited for you. Yeah, I'll take the truth geckos. Check, check, check. Yes. It's so scary. I love that you speak to that though, Josh, because it's like I feel like this this solar eclipse kind of feels like ready or not. Here we go. And I think there is this feeling of like the limiting beliefs. It's like, how can I create this sense of safety? How can I have a conversation with these limiting beliefs? Yeah. Chiron and Pisces. Do you mean you have that in your chart, Amy? You have Chiron and Pisces? Chiron is the wounded healer archetype. I love Chiron so much. I might have to talk about that more. I feel like we could talk so much about Chiron. Chiron and Pisces. So there might be this wound around. I feel like I'd have to look at your chart again. But at a very condensed version of this, Chiron and Pisces can maybe be a wound around spirituality, can maybe be a wound around boundaries. Um, Oftentimes Chiron feels like this like very deep wound in us, depending on also which part of the chart it's in, which house. But oftentimes our Chiron feels like such a deep wound. And it's often like there's this hero's journey that Chiron goes through and then becomes the healer in the end, essentially, in a very, very condensed version. I think I might talk about Chiron more. I have Chiron conjunct my sun, so it's a very alive archetype in my life. Venus and Virgo. Mm. Yeah, you feel that. Yeah. Chiron's deep. All right. So thinking about this eclipse, I just want to also mention there's nothing that you need to do. This is often why I take a break with the new moon workshops because there's not really anything that we need to do under eclipses. Noticing, I would say, just noticing what's coming up, noticing, especially with this eclipse happening in Aquarius and just with Uranus and just like noticing which chains you're kind of feeling ready to break, where you're feeling a little bit held back. Just noticing. Maybe having conversations with those limiting beliefs because Aquarius is looking towards the future. And sometimes when we're looking towards the future, it's like, who am I to do that thing? Who am I to whatever, fill in the blank, wherever you're being pulled towards? But then also coming back to Venus conjunct the North Node in the chart, your desires are within you for a reason. They wouldn't be there if they weren't for you. And again, to that uniqueness, it's like when you step into your uniqueness, that helps the community. I fully believe that like we have these unique gifts because we're here to bring them to our community. It's like if everyone was good at the same thing, that would be silly. So we all have these unique gifts because we're meant to bring our gifts into the community or into the collective in some way, shape, or form. And your uniqueness is your gift. Well, thank you. Yeah, I think that's all I have for today. If anyone has any questions, anything they want to share, we all have a role to play. Exactly. And if we're not playing, I go back to the Dane Rudyard quote. This is like one of my favorites. It's like if you are not living in your nature, there's a hole in the universe where you are meant to be. What? Like imagine, God, like just imagine if you're not living your nature, if you're not living as yourself, there's a hole in the universe where you're meant to be. So we're missing out on experiencing you. Still scary regarding, yeah, the uniqueness. It is scary because I feel like there is this part where like humans are just so wired for connection. Also, one of our like most basic needs is to belong. So it's almost like there's this fear of honoring our uniqueness because what if what if I'm not accepted? Yeah, thank you guys. I don't know where this eclipse action is happening in your chart. Trying to think of your chart. I feel like maybe the fifth or the sixth house. Just have your chart in my head. That's my love language, guys. That's how I show my love. I remember your chart in my head. I feel like it's the fifth house. I'll double check though. Yeah, the fear of rejection. It's so real. And I like coming back to the fear piece too, just thinking about this movement of Neptune and Saturn into Aries. It's like building that capacity for fear, like building the capacity to take action through the fear. So it doesn't have to happen all at once. I feel like this is going to be an unfolding, especially thinking too, like the next eclipse is going back to Virgo. So we have the eclipse in Aquarius, and then we're going back to Virgo and Pisces and Leo. So we're kind of still in this in between. For me, it feels like the fear of invalidation of my experience. Yeah, that's real. There's another truth gecko outside. Check, check, check. Yeah. And I think that's a good point too, Rue. Just thinking of the Leo Aquarius axis, like thinking about Leo, this idea of validation. Leo, the opposite of Aquarius, like really wants that validation. Any new moon prompts for this energy? I would say Just thinking about where you feel it could be something you journal on too. Like where have I been feeling called to stretch myself? Or what have I been feeling called towards? And also like what's holding me back? That might be helpful. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for spending some time with me. I wish I could see all your faces. This is the difference with the Substack Live as opposed to our Zoom monthly calls. I can't see your faces. But I will say, if you do want to join the new moon workshops, we'll be back next month. I would love to see some of your faces in there if you want to join. And then also, if you're feeling like you need a little bit of extra support, readings are always an option, also. But I'm so glad that you guys are here. Thank you also for sharing so openly in the chat. I love hearing about how like you guys are moving through this as well. Because eclipses can feel quite chaotic. Like, they can feel very high energy. So if you're feeling a little bit like, "Ah," it's normal. It's normal. It's kind of like part of the process. If you're feeling confused, if things aren't clear yet, that's also okay. Eclipses really are this portal, and it's like, okay, sometimes I can't see what's on the other side. And also, if there's something that's like beginning or ending, eclipses often do that work for us. It's like if I've been holding on to something so tightly, I'm like white knuckling this thing and I just don't want to let it go. I'm like holding the door shut, like I don't want to let it in. The eclipse is gonna help you. So if you feel something that's like trying to be released, sitting with it, seeing if it's kinda like releasing the grip on it a little bit and see what happens. Eclipses often just kind of like supercharge, accelerate the process, or it's like, "Okay, you're not gonna do this thing, like, let me help you." I'm looking forward to seeing you next month, Rue. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you. I wish I could see your faces, but I can feel your presence and read your words, so I'm very grateful. Thank you. I hope everyone has a great eclipse season. Happy Lunar New Year. Bye, guys.